Isn't it absolutely glorious? Hello my friends, Takuya here, and welcome back to something, well, I say welcome back. Welcome to something new and extra special, Europa Universalis 4. Which is technically speaking not new, because this game is like over 10 years old, and now EU5 is coming out, and I really want to play it, so you know what that means? It means we're diversifying our content and doing more things. Yes, for those of you who have been waiting for a while, I know it has been a long time. I posted a poll like, dear God, what, 2 weeks ago? Oh wow, 2 actual weeks ago that said, hey, EU5 has been announced and I want to be able to do things with it, so we need to start making some EU4 content. And I thought, I'm just gonna put a simple poll up here. I'm sure that there's gonna be such varied answers that people are gonna wanna see, because they really wanna see in 1444 what kind of broken, fun, interesting thing we can make. And then over 50% of you just chose Byzantium just off the get-go. Yes, commenters, I know. The moment that I put this in as an option, it was guaranteed to happen. There was no coming back from this. It had to, as all of you say so. So with that, here we have it, my friends. EU4, Europa Universalis 4. The game that starts in 1444 and goes all the way till 1821 and is truly one of the titans of paradox. Like, this genuinely is perhaps one of my favorite games that has ever been made. And I know primarily my content utilizes a lot of Hearts of Iron 4, and I talk about some things with the Crusader Kings, but EU4 always had a special place in my heart because this was actually like the second Paradox game that I ever got into back when I was in college. And there's just so much more customization and things that you can do for your nation that allow you to build it into something beautiful. Of course, the state of the Roman Empire at this time is, not exactly all that beautiful, we will say. Yes, for anyone who is curious about the time frame in which this game actually starts, this is shortly after the Battle of Varna, which was kind of the last-ditch effort by a united Christian force in order to be able to drive out the Ottomans, who had since taken over large swaths of Anatolia as well as the Balkans, and from there, this would be their rise to dominance to eventually become the largest empire in all of Europe, at least for a time. The game starts quite literally 9 years before Byzantium, the Eastern Roman Empire, aka the Roman Empire, ceases to exist. Yeah, Byzantium starts out in an absolutely horrible position, and so naturally, we're going to turn Iron Man mode on, which means there is no potential cheat codes or anything that we can put in this. It is just pure suffering as we try to reclaim the glory of the Roman Empire. You can see here right now from the past where there has been many, many other attempts that specifically has been done for exactly this. Oh God, it is painful. Now, for anyone who has seen EU4 or played it before, I do apologize to you right now. I will be explaining some of the mechanics and concepts for those of you who have not played it before, because genuinely this game is, and you're going to see people say it in the comment section, one of the most complicated things to kind of get into in the first place. I mean, we were talking about something that, unlike just simple politics and division designers like what you would see in Hearts of Iron 4, you have to balance politics, religion, military, technology, very different kinds of choices, trade, so many more factors that really just make this game a kind of nightmare for a new person to get into, but once you understand it, oh my God, it is so much fun. And as for the context of where we start with Byzantium in 1444, Byzantium finds itself surrounded by heretics and heathens on all sides, with many of their old subjects now bending the knee to the Venetian Doge, who sparked the end of their empire, and many others who are firmly under control of the Ottomans. Powers in both the West and East believe that the age of Byzantium is long since over, but Basileus Ioannis VIII Palaiologos remains confident that the Purple Phoenix shall rise once again and reclaim not just Byzantium, but the Roman Empire itself. Keep in mind when we do this here, we have all DLCs, and there are dozens of DLCs for this. I just want to give anyone a heads up if there's different content than what they would otherwise see. This game is on Iron Man. Achievements are completely possible to get here, and this is going to be fun. From the very get-go at the start of the game, we need to understand that the Ottomans are an existential threat. They have a significantly better ruler, they have a much larger military, and if they wanted to, could quite easily crush us at any given moment. In order to avoid this fate, we need to move, and we need to move fast, because it is quite literally the impending doom that is coming upon us. As such, first things first, check our alliances for what we can actually do. No one wants to ally us. Lovely. Well, that means that we're going to need to do a series of things. We're going to need to go over to our estates, because there's an estate mechanic in this game that allows us to balance things between the clergy, nobility, the burghers, and of course ourselves with our own crown lands. And this is where we see the first big problem. See, Byzantium starts out in the game in not just a horrible position as a base part of the game, they start out in a horrible position through its own events and terrible history, where it starts with negative modifiers for each one of the estates, where you are basically bound in a union with a church for protection, which the only thing that this actually does is it gives you some tolerance for heretics. You also are reliant on republics, which reduces our trade power and the ability to construct ships in the first place. And of course, the Latin merchants can pretty much do whatever the hell they want, which the only benefit to this is that it reduces the cost of mercenaries, which, to be fair, in this, we are actually going to abuse the hell out of. Oh yeah, and our army is deteriorating and we can't do actually anything. Minus 15% for morale is terrible. That means from the get-go, first things first, we're going to summon the Diet, get ourselves a mission, and choose the easiest one we can find, which is Mesambria actually increasing tax, because that's all that we're going to be doing. That's a terrible one to start with in the first place. After that, we're going to start giving out privileges. Religious state, which is going to give us a +1 monthly admin power. And the way you do anything in this game is by using your admin, diplo, and military mana points, if you want to call it that. And as such, increasing it by as much as possible is crucial. Along with that, we're going to get expansion to zealotry so we can actually increase our morale when fighting against heretics or heathens. Religious diplomats to increase our diplomatic reputation as well as make other people of similar religions like us. Military-wise, we're going to do simple things. Primacy of the eugenes. Basically, we're going to give primacy to the nobility, right of council to increase their loyalty, supremacy over the crown, which is going to increase loyalty for basically everyone. And then the final step, of course, is the burghers, which we're going to go ahead and do land of commerce so we can get +1 point in there. Patronage of the arts, which will at least get us a little bit of prestige. And then that is pretty much it. One of the things that absolutely sucks with all this is that in older versions, you could do indebted to the emperor, which would actually give you 5 loans at 1% interest in comparison to the usual 4% interest. But that doesn't work anymore. So that's fun. So now we have to do things the old-fashioned way, which means going to our military and trying to see if our leader can get... Ooh, actually, that's a pretty good stat. You know, I will take this, a 1-1-3-1, even if it's terrible on the whole shock and fire side, which are the 2 damage things that you need to actually have in order to fight. 1 in siege means our siege will go faster, so that is actually something. Go ahead and go down here and declare our rivals, which we are going to need. And among that, we will declare Venice our rival. And the reason we're going to declare Venice our rival is because going over here, we can go to them and send them a terrible insult, which, yes, we are going to do. Now, the goal of all this is that we're trying to get an alliance with the papacy. Hopefully that will work, because with our mission fulfilled, we have the impending doom, but we want to wait in order to be able to get the Union of Churches, which is going to decrease the cost of mercenaries by another 15% for 15 years, which, considering how many mercenaries we are going to be utilizing here, is going to be absolutely crucial. If we can't get that, we basically just need to restart. At least Trebizond over here will ally with us, so we will actually go ahead and take them. That will be important. And before it is that Epirus can actually get any allies or anything, we're going to go ahead and just take them out as fast as we can. Quick, declare the war, and let's see if we can wipe these guys out. Byzantine merchants evade taxes. Oh, dear God. All right, screw them. Let them lose their loyalty. I genuinely don't care. Confirmation of the Council of Florence. Yeah, this is the whole thing for the union with the Orthodox and Catholic Church, which we will have to stand by our decision, which, yes, is going to result in many different zealots rising up. But, you know, it's what we kind of have to deal with here in the first place, unfortunately. And now we play the siege game, hopefully being able to take down as much of this as we can. And with that, my friends, we have the siege, 296 days. Not the worst, not the worst. Okay. Here's all that we are doing. We are going to take Arta, but we are not going to completely kill off Epirus. That is not what we are going to do. Instead, we are going to take as much money from them as we can, and at the same time, we will turn them into our vassal. I say this because I want them to keep their navy. I want them to keep their navy because that navy is going to be crucial in order to be able to actually fight against the Byzantines here in the first place, so that is what we are then going to take. Now, with that out of the way, November of 1445, not too long, and it's only been a year since we actually started the game, we can finally ally the Pope, which is beautiful. That is what we want in the first place. And because of that, we can now complete the impending doom. The empire is at the brink of destruction. Every Roman citizen is silently aware that the end is nigh, and the days of Roman glory are already numbered. But is there really no hope for the crumbling empire? With the emperor struggling to make alliances with the West and seeking support, there might still be a chance for recovery. This is now done, decreasing the cost of our mercenaries for another 15% for 15 years, which means we actually have minus 40% cost for mercenaries, which is actually crucial, plus an additional 10% morale, which that combined with our expansion to zealotry means that we are sitting at a net 0 loss or gain for morale. Really big, actually. Also, if as I'm doing this, people have any questions about how any of this game works, let me know in the comment section, because I plan on making videos kind of explaining different concepts, and probably making shorts about that as well. And because we took out Epirus, that means we complete false despots, which, because we did this through vassalization, it means that we get 75 Diplo power instead of getting more morale for our army, which actually would have been really nice. But I'll take the 75 Diplo power. That is actually really big. Especially because what that does is that gives me a permanent claim on all the territory here in Naples. Everything that you can see here with the marked yellow line, these are all the claims that we have. And then everything that is marked with green are our cores. See, things work a little bit differently in comparison to those of you who may have watched stuff for Hearts of Iron 4. Think of it like your core territory versus occupied territory. You get a lot more stuff out of your core territory than you do out of your occupied territory, but with time you can make occupied territory your core territory. Either way, that is really big, and now, alliance-wise, we can get a lot more allies. Albania will accept us, Serbia will accept us, all of this is really big. But what we are likely going to want in this time is that we are going to want Albania. The reason being is that Albania has an absolutely glorious leader that we are going to want. Also, I'm realizing this, I will need to go out and give the strong duchy privilege because I am in a position where my subjects are angry with me. We will go ahead and do that. 90% influence is a little bit of a problem, but it's fine. We'll deal with it. The problem is, by allying with Albania, I've removed the possibility of getting an alliance with Serbia, which is ultimately fine. We will likely be killing Serbia here afterwards, so, you know, it is what it is. And so now, my friends, it is time for the most crucial step in our entire planning process, checking mercenaries to see if we actually have something that is good and viable. The goal at this point here is to get a mercenary company that has a general that is amazing, like, ooh, the Morlocks, a 4-4-2, that is actually phenomenal for battle, yes. Or a 4-2-3-3, okay, the Krabets. You want something that you can actually utilize in order to be able to siege things faster, because everything in here is going to be a kind of race against time. So a 3-4-0 is also good, 2-4-1 is also fine, because shock in the early game is way more important than fire, since guns aren't really a thing here yet. And we can rely on Skanderbeg here in Albania, the absolute Chad that he is, a 5-5-5-1 to actually do something. He is a 3-star general, which is amazing. So, you know, I think I'll take the risk. I'll take the risk, and I will go with the Krabats. Does it put me over my force limit? Yeah, it does, but it doesn't really matter for me. And so, in February 1446, the war begins against the Ottomans, the great war of our time, that I have tried so many times and failed so many times on. The Ottomans have a rather large ally here, which means that their forces combined is about 37,000 men versus our whopping 27,000 for the alliance. We go ahead and make sure that our casus belli is to take our core, which is Terhala, so that we get significantly less aggressive expansion. And with that, my friends, it begins. Now, before I forget anything, I need to make sure that I go over here to Constantinople and I select the province and go to View Edicts. After this, we need to make sure we add the defensive edict to increase defensiveness by 33%. That is going to be crucial in order to go and maintain our capital, which hopefully the Ottomans are going to try to go after. If they don't, there's a decent chance that they might go after my ally here, Trebizond, which I can only hope that they do. Hopefully, in this, we can avoid the fate of the Ottomans coming down and murdering us. That is my hope. A hope which I can very clearly see is not going to be met. Albania, what are you doing? Help me. Yeah, from the very get-go, we are going to have a very rough time. The Ottomans have more discipline than us, which increases their attack and defense. On top of that, they have more morale, and they, generally speaking, have more men. We are going to be in a significantly worse position the longer this goes on, but hopefully we can last. Okay. 5 on our side for our dice roll, 0, 1. I think we actually have it. What sucks is my understanding that the AI would go after the weakest of forces, which should be Trebizond, which admittedly they are doing something here, but wait. Georgia was hired by Trebizond to fight. Yes. We have mercenaries. Western support. Yes, beautiful. Bring us as much help as we can possibly get. Austria, get opinion there. Actually, that would actually be kind of nice here if I could get that. Sea of Marmara, Arda. Yeah, we're going to need to increase relations with Austria. It's about all we can do right now. The looming catastrophe in Isophy. Wait, no. They left Constantinople. Oh, crap. Quick, let us face the enemy straight on. We need more morale. Wait, seriously, Ottomans, you're not going to try and protect your fort. You're going to go after... You know what? It's fine. Because I will take a major victory up here, absolutely. Whew. Oh, 9 and 2, 9 and 2. Come on. We can wear this down. We can wear it down. How long do I have? September 7th? We might be able to beat them off or take a decent amount of territory. Oh my God, we just barely won the battle and now we have to rush down here as fast as possible before the Ottomans get me. Woo! 8 and 2. Okay, please, last. I just need this glorious leader to rush down here as fast as possible so we can actually rush ourselves in here. I went and hired another mercenary company. I am hemorrhaging money right now. I do not care. 8 and 2. Come on. We will last it just a couple more days. Yes! We made it. 4 and 6. And that is another major victory. Oh, dear God. All right. I'm like on the edge of my seat here right now. That is like multiple major battles in this whole time. And when you win a battle, that should actually, over the top of this, yep, that helped the siege. What are the Ottomans even down to right now? They still have 21,000 soldiers, but they have no manpower. We have wiped out the majority of their manpower. So if I can use the mercenaries to continue to wipe these forces out, they won't have anything to be able to replenish. And the siege of Salonik is over. 222 days. That is actually remarkably fast for everything that we have been able to do. Oh my lord. Now, what that needs to happen is that we have to go and just carpet siege down the entirety of Bulgaria. Let the Ottomans rush their forces into the territory because it doesn't really matter. If they can move in, that means I can bait them in and attack them again. Because at this point, we're able to use Trebizond as our little sacrificial pawn. Yes, Georgia is going to be going over here and distracting the Ottomans, which means I can actually get some breathing room. So now, the only option left is to go after Gelibolu. We need the fort there to fall as quickly as possible. Oh lord, yeah, the Georgians have been completely beaten back here now, so it looks like the Ottomans are focusing on that side. Once again, oh dear God, having to trap them. Oh, okay, not a stack wipe, but once again, it is actually doing really good damage to them. So you know what? I'm fine with that. Really? Another military force. And by baiting them into the south here, we can go ahead and murder them off, hopefully. Yep, that seems reasonable then. Oh, no. Ottomans, they have sent in a force here. Please, let's wipe them out. 31 ships, try that on. Oh yeah, no, you tried it on. Oh yeah, now Trebizond is actually getting, quite murdered. I think that they just completely, yeah, they wiped out the army of Georgia. Georgia has no forces. But hey, thanks for serving as a pretty solid distraction. I gotta say, that was pretty nice of you. And there is the capital of the Ottomans down. Now, what I have to do is I have to secure as much of the coastline as I can. And hopefully in this time, despite the fact that my war exhaustion is really high at this point, we will need to try and at least secure this one province, the Kocaeli. The reason being is we need to control both sides of the strait in order to be able to block off Ottoman forces from being able to cross both sides. And so hopefully I will be able to at least knock that out, and if I can secure that, we will be golden. Oh crap, that is Trebizond defeated. That should not have happened. But it doesn't matter because that is the siege of Kocaeli done. Of course, before it is that we secure peace, we need to reduce the Ottoman numbers as much as we possibly can because, well, I don't want to have to deal with them in the future because they will be a massive pain in the butt. Drive the Ottomans back, hopefully let a little bit of time pass. Yes, they will have to replenish, but I can at least take a little bit more. And then from here, try to kill off their navy. Come on. Wipe those forces out, please. And that's the majority of the Ottoman navy gone. All right. At this point, now we can finally resolve things. Naturally, our goal at this time is to take as much territory as possible, and the reason that we are going to take things in this exact pattern is due to a couple factors. One, I'm not going to give anything to my allies, because screw those guys. The second thing, this territory right here is going to be our bridge over into Serbia, which is crucial, as well as being our border with Albania, again, also crucial when I betray them. Secondly, we are not taking back our final core of Erdine because this territory is actually the Ottoman capital, which gives me an easy access point to be able to go ahead and siege down their capital whenever it is that I wish. And on top of that, if we take the surrounding territory around them, this gives us 2 fortresses that we can then control and not allow them actually through. Take just a little bit of money so I can actually go here and pay off my loans, and with that, then we are good. My friends, the Phoenix rises. Absolutely glorious. And all of this done by May 14th of 1449. That is 5 years since game start, and already we have reclaimed, well, I say reclaimed, we have tripled the amount of land that we own. Thus, we are able to reverse the downfall. The Roman Empire has been consistently declining for about a millennium now. With small periods of recovery from time to time, today we may be laying the definitive end of our journey. With the Ottoman encroaching and lusting for the city world desire, the end is looming. While the Ottomans are still occupied, let us strike and bolster our hold in Greece, our most core territory. So it is then that Greece is recovered and our very high war exhaustion is able to actually go down. We'll go to the state that is primarily Turkish in nature. We will concentrate development so that we can make that cheaper for us to core. And while our war exhaustion is stupidly high, we need to bring back our military forces and actually delete a lot of these mercenaries that have been absolutely butchered. And oh my god, the moment that we achieve victory, our king apparently has a heart attack of happiness and dies. Lovely. Yet repay all of our loans, and now the Turks have been driven from the Western Balkans. The forces of the Ottoman Empire have been driven out of the Western Balkans. This is a significant point in our empire's restoration. We have done it, as well as Nicomedia has been reclaimed. Absolutely gorgeous. I am still losing a ton of money, though, which is a little bit of a problem for me. We're kind of at the max of our force limit here, and I can't sustain anything, so I will have to delete my mercenary company and just kind of hold off here for a couple years. Damn, I am still losing money. I didn't delete all my mercenaries. All right, free company, you've taken some decent force. Okay, yeah, you know what? We're going to go ahead and delete you too. We can always recruit the free company later. Albania broke their alliance with me, but Serbia wants to ally. Thing is, I kind of want to murder Serbia too. So actually, I realize here at this point, Byzantium is going to need to get their hands on some better allies. Who is willing to be my friend? Basically, no one but the Pope is already still my friend. Huh. Yeah, we're not going to be accepting any alliance, but unfortunately for us, our expansion goals in the aftermath of this is continue to kill the Ottomans, which we will, technically speaking, have to wait until 1462 to be able to properly do, unless we actually cheese the whole truce mechanics in this game. Or we switch our attentions over to Serbia or Naples, which the thing is, I want to invade Naples, but Naples is allied with Hungary, which is kind of scary. Thus, the only real option I have for expansion, since I'm not going to be going up against Skanderbeg of all people, is I will be going and invading Serbia later. Albania I have a truce with, and we are hemmed in on basically all other sides. You hear, oh, we got a chat here! 545! Now, actually, I'm realizing this in the first place. I'm going to make a lot more EU4 videos. For you in the comment section, leave the name of an heir. And when I get these things, I'm going to check the previous videos and the stuff that I make, and I will name the heirs whatever it is that pops up in order from the previous video that I do. Whether I go through 2 heirs, 3 heirs, 4 heirs, whatever, we'll go in order of that. In honor of you all, I will name my heir subscriber. And now with the institution of the Renaissance taking place, that means that we are going to be negatively affected. Yeah, we're behind on technology already as it is, but it's about to become way worse because as different institutions pop up around the world, I say around the world, it's almost entirely within Europe all the time that this happens, this means that we will be in a position where our technology will be harder to research unless it is that we have adopted an institution. In this case, Genoa, my rival, is the birthplace of the Renaissance, which means we're going to be in a little bit of a pickle. Last jousting tournament. Yes, I will take this. Thank you very much. Morale of armies, yearly army tradition, and yearly prestige. Oh my god, this could not have come at a better time. Yeah, we can let the Bulgarian separatists just rise up over here. Maybe the Ottomans will eventually have to deal with it. Or, hold on. If the Ottomans don't deal with it, we could see the rise of an independent Bulgaria. Oh my god, Serbia's independence is actually guaranteed by the frickin' Ottomans, who are 443 ducats in debt, mind you. I think their priorities are just a little bit out of place. And on that note, I actually realized something. We have like 18,000 men, I think, as it is. Decisions and policies. We need to repair the army, which, technically speaking, we cannot do until we have an army that is equal or larger than 20,000, and we have a military advisor with at least 2 skill. This is something we would probably have to fire pretty quickly, but it is still important that we get that in the first place. Alliance with Serbia, you're still willing to be my friend, which has been warned by... Hold up. Serbia is no longer guaranteed by the Ottomans. Hold up. Do we head and go and provoke a revolt? 13 regiments? Yeah, you know what? We'll do it. I need to wipe out those forces quickly, and we need to wipe out those forces because at this point, now we are going to declare war on Serbia. There we go. Send our forces in here as rapidly as we can. Now, at this point, all we do is sit here and try to take out the enemy. Go ahead and recruit 3 units so we can finally get our army above the set 20,000 men. And check the decisions. Do we have this? Okay, military advisor worth at least skill 2. We can go ahead and fix this right now. I can take out some loans. 1 loan, that's fine. And we can use that to hire on a level 2 fort defense. Well, I mean, it's not great, but you know, it's something. As soon as that is done, we can repair the army, which means the morale of our army is no longer gone, and we are set. The Roman military is back, boys. Very quickly move on in here into Serbia, and despite the fact that we are going to be in a pretty meh position, we are going to outnumber them pretty heavily and be able to wipe them out. And that is the Serbian military completely gone. Stack wipe and stack wipe for the Bosnians. Come on, 49%. Come on. Give me the victory. Oh, come on. Water shortage. We're sitting at 2 rounds of 49% multiple times in a row. At least the siege of Visoki ends. And from that, so too does Serbia. That is now wiped, which means we can go ahead and finish this off. If I wanted to, I could turn Bosnia into a vassal. I could do this. I could. But I don't have any claims upon them right now here, and I would much rather just get war reparations and then a copious amounts of money, as well as increase anything that I need here for prestige. Next up after that, swallow all of Serbia. And just like that, Byzantium is sitting real pretty in 1450 frickin' 5. Vengeance at a Bar. The disastrous Battle of Bar ensured the Serbian realm was to remain independent from the Byzantine Empire for years to come. While we did manage to strike back at the Serbians since then, they were still able to take over much of our territory and did found the Serbian Empire. Since then, they have succumbed to decline on their own as well. Let us strike them while they are down, and from that, I get even more stuff. From this, then, we have the reconquest of Serbia, which will either give us less separatism as well as core creation cost minus 10%, oh my lord, or let them keep their possessions, which amiable treatment, aggressive expansion impact. Ooh, that is also actually quite nice. But I know us. No, we are going to reduce separatism, and core creation cost is going to be invaluable. For 30 years, we get 10% less core creation cost. You have no idea how many points that's going to save for admin ability. More importantly, for the entire state of Serbia, we can concentrate development and concentrate development again, which in turn is going to reduce costs even more, and we can core all this territory. Well, almost all of it. With that done, my friends, 1456 is looking very pretty, and from here, we can begin to annex our little vassals around us. Athens has been independent for a while, but since we have a core on the territory, we can go ahead and claim them right now, which in turn allows us to complete another mission, the Peloponnese Renaissance. Absolutely wonderful. Moria is now 90% of the way through to Renaissance, which means I can just spend a couple little points here. And now we have Renaissance down in southern Greece. Beautiful. Athens is thus reclaimed. For centuries, Athens was a center of Byzantine culture and art until it was lost to the Latins in the Fourth Crusade. More recently, the city has been the capital of an independent duchy ruled by various Western families. That time is at an end, however, and for the first time since 1204, Athens is part of the Byzantine Empire again. Oh dear God, look at this. We could secure Poland. Poland as an ally in this time. Well, don't mind if I do. Thank you very much, Poland. That, my friends, can actually have some great implications for the future because Poland has this little thing called an elective monarchy, which means that I could theoretically get a Byzantine emperor elected onto the throne. How fascinating. Now, for our first government reform. With time, what ends up happening is that you build a government reform that allows you to develop your government and nation. In our case, we have a Byzantine autocracy, which is a bit of a messy thing here. We're going to need to actually fix that eventually in the future. But moving on from this, I can get a special Byzantine government that allows me to reform the pronoia system. Pronoia, which are basically vassals that don't actually utilize, it seems, any vassal slot. It uses instead a number of pronoirs. Thus, we can create client states. And finally, we can core all these states in Serbia, which is crucial because of a very specific thing. This province, Dardania, is actually a gold province, and gold produces money. It's not traded for anything, it just straight up produces money, which inherently is going to be extremely valuable, which means, hopefully, as we get more Diplo power, we'll be able to invest in this and thus increase our production, gaining even more cash. Gain 40 military... Ooh, hold on. Skill 2, Fort, Defense, Siege, Advisors, 50% cheaper. Yeah, I will take that. Thank you. I will gladly take this individual. Thank you very much. Wait, Ottomans are no longer considered a great power. Seriously, they lost that badly. They're no longer a great power. Which, for anyone who hasn't seen this in here, there's a great power list that actually shows how powerful something is, with the number one, of course, in the world at this time being China, with the Ming Dynasty, followed by France, Poland, the Mamelukes, Burgundy, and so on and so forth. The Ottomans are usually at the top of that list very quickly, and they no longer are. Oh man, and my emperor just got well connected, which is going to reduce the cost of my advisors by another 20%. Oh, that's actually crucial. That is crucial. Now, at this point, it is 1462. We've basically maxed out everything that we would have for military power, and we still don't have Renaissance, which, yeah, the Ottomans are a military tech higher than us, so what we are going to do at this time is we are going to do the classic Greek thing, take out loans. I didn't want to have to do it, but at this point, I pretty much will have to. And I can't get cheap loans, so unfortunately, it's got to be the expensive loans, but it is what it is. So 4 loans later, we can go ahead and embrace the institution of Renaissance, and then with that, that means that I can finally invest in said technology, and I will have properly strong units. They still suck, but they're stronger than they were. With Admin Tech 5, it then finally allows us to open up the new idea group. So we can choose an idea that is going to allow us to specialize our nation into something that is, well, semi-competent in the first place, we will say. Yeah, we are the only real source of Orthodox, besides the Russians, in a territory that is rife with either Catholicism or Sunni Islam. Meaning, a good course of action, perhaps, would be to go with humanist ideas so that we can accept and tolerate all peoples. Or we could do the better thing and just go and actually murder them all if they don't convert. Yeah, I like my idea better. And wait a minute, we are now a great power? Really? Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. Well, thank you, my dear friend. I am pretty great, aren't I? The only thing left for us to do now here at this point is get an actual, competent general, since I can't seem to produce one in the first place, which we can simply get by recruiting the Mullahs. And with that, my friends, the final war begins. The Ottomans at this point, they do actually have a reserve of 17,000 manpower, and they do have a decent navy. However, the crucial thing is they only have 20,000 troops, which is significantly weaker than they would otherwise be in just about any other time, except I'm going to have to wage war on them entirely by myself. Fun. Well, we're not going to declare war yet. We're actually going to do a very sneaky special thing, which is create a subject out of our territory of Bulgaria. And even though, yes, I am reducing my overall territory, which does kind of suck, simultaneously, I am able to then go and declare war for a reconquest, casus belli, which in turn is going to be way less aggression, and I'm going to be able to take significantly more. So yeah, let's do it then. Come on, if we can just beat the Ottoman navy at the sea, we should be in a much better position. And I am producing gems now. Oh my god, that is actually excellent. Oh dear lord, I lost a lot of ships right there. That was kind of brutal, but it's all right. We'll last. It's fine. More importantly, I need to try and... That's not going to be good. Oh, hold up. And I just got an event that gave me some patriarch authority, which means as the Byzantines, I can actually select another icon. Okay, hold up. What would be best? Icon of St. Nicholas. Aggressive expansion impact minus 10% is also really nice. I would love that, but the core thing that we really need right now, more discipline so I can kill off these troops. By utilizing an icon, that means I can then go complete Church in Distress. Beautiful. Give me more unity, give me more national unrest, or reduce it, I should say. And that is looking pretty. Especially since at this point now, I can wipe out the entire Ottoman military. Goodbye to you, stack wipe. Yeah, that is quite literally almost their entire military force. They're going to have to spend the next bit of time actually repairing that. Now we take every single province around us, go ahead and consolidate our forces again, and we're sitting real pretty. It's funny, because we now have our navy across... Epirus? What are you doing? Why would you do this? Epirus? You idiots! Bulgaria? You idiots! What are you doing? Well, we sieged down their capital, so... at least we have that then. Hold up. We can trap a force. We're not going to be able to get all of them. We can get some of them, though. Yep, that is the entire army of Kulunyu wiped out. Oh, dear God. The naval battles here are complete slaughter. I have been losing ship after ship after ship while trying to do this. Oh, beautiful. Trapped another one. And, okay, that's not the entire Ottoman force wiped out, but it's a good percentage. If I can clear out more of their forces... This is it, my friends. This is the wiping out of the entire Ottoman curse that has plagued our lands. Oh, God. Yeah, no, there goes my navy. Yeah, my navy finally got beat. All right. We will need to fix that here eventually. There goes the siege of Sugla. That is done, which means at the very least, we have that now completely wiped out. So that is something. That is something. Can I get semi-competent military leader here? All right. Are you really going to... Okay, well, we're just going to wait until they have, 50% of the distance to the next province covered so that we've trapped them in their movement, and now we can go and wipe them out here. I am perfectly fine with that happening. Yeah, you try and retreat. You have basically no manpower left. Wait, that's a... No, not separatists. Okay, you know what? We will hold out. No! Frick! Okay, that is going to be an actual little bit of a problem. Fine, we will bring in more mercenaries just to try and stabilize the front line over here. Yeah, you all should not have done that. Absolutely not. I think... Wait, did that just stack wipe them? Oh my God, we just wiped out the entire Ottoman military. They have no manpower. They have no troops. They have nothing. Quick, just activate tech level 6 and baby, let's just keep on moving in. More infantry damage, more military tactics, better pizza, better Papa John's. Really? You're gonna do this to me over here? Yeah, that's not gonna work out there, buddy. I'll share. Yes, I will sell you the knowledge of Renaissance. Please, by all means, give me a whole bunch of ducats. I really do appreciate that. That is valuable for me. We wipe out the entire military up here, and from there are able to move on down. And there we have the Siege of Ankara done. Now we can move on over here to Sinop, and then from there, well, wait, did I say that Poland just declared war upon the Ottomans as well? Hold up. Why? Why? For what purpose? You're not going to get anything out of this. I'm already getting everything else. There we go. There's the Ottoman Navy wiped, please. Yes, yes. All right. That is... Oh my God. I feel like we've destroyed each other's navy repeatedly over the course of this whole entire war. And yeah, that puts us at 99% victory. They can't do anything. And now we just simply go over here and switch over all the varying occupation to Bulgaria so we can actually take all this territory. And with that, 1466, every single thing is taken. The Ottomans are at 99% exhaustion. They cannot do it anymore. And we can go ahead, take a little bit of money to just max out this war score, and done. Everlasting victory. The Byzantine reconquest of Uskup, that is over. And with that, the entirety of Europe is free. In fact, we actually managed to take a little bit of Anatolia too during that war, and now the Ottomans have lost the majority of their territory. So it is that we fulfill reconquer Bulgaria. While we may have succeeded in retaking Greece from the Ottoman hold, the second fight might not be any better. Let us hope the Bulgarian nobles oppose their Muslim overlords more than our rule, exposing themselves to our influence once again. Yes, indeed. That gives us a permanent claim on Wallachia, a permanent claim on Moldova, gain a general with 50 tradition, and an additional +1 shock. Huh. Plus gain Bulgarian as an accepted culture. All right. That is perfectly acceptable for me. Wait, did that say that Hungary is at war with, like, Bosnia and the Papal... Hungary is at war with Bosnia, Albania, and the Papal States, which they are actually legitimately winning. Okay. I do not think that I like the look of that. But you know what? I think that would be potentially another video. Yes, my friends, April 1466. It has been a whopping 22 years. That is it, 22 years. And we have completely turned around Byzantium. We now own both sides of the Aegean. And not to mention, we have complete dominance over the entirety of the Balkans. You all wanted to see a Byzantium playthrough, and that is exactly what we have done here today. I've tried to go over some of the specifics of the game for how certain things work, but I know that there's going to be a lot of people who are watching this for the first time who have never seen anything for EU4 that are probably going to be curious down in the comment section below. So I'm saying this right now. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and I definitely want to make some videos, shorts, and other things on how EU4 works, because I definitely am going to be making a lot of short content for how things work in EU5 once it is that we have a hold of that. And if you want to see a continuation of this, if you want to see Byzantium in the 1400s rise and restore the Roman Empire, then you better smash that like button. By all means, if this video gets, I'm not even going to anticipate too much because it's a new type, if this video gets 5,000 likes, that's it. If it gets 5,000, I will do a whole other video. We will continue, and I will show how Byzantium can very quickly retake and become the preeminent position that it always deserved. With that, my friends, I'll see you all here next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.